Hey, good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and it is Tuesday, August the 3rd, 2021. Quickly disappearing as everything is gone completely nuts out there. I don't even know where to start half the time, but we're going to try to put it all together for you. The website, allamericangold.com. And, of course, we focus more financially on what's happening in COVID. What a great way to take everybody's attention away from what they're really doing. I mean, I know it's bad. And I don't know all the answers. But closing things down, forcing people to vaccinate, and spending money that the world is, nobody's ever seen this. We're so numb to it now that it just doesn't affect anybody anymore. You know, $1 trillion used to mean something to people. People are like, what? $1 trillion of debt. Now 4, 5, 6 trillion, nobody seems to care. And they don't think there's a price to pay, but we're paying it. Less people in this country than ever before own a home. More people than ever before can't afford a home. We can't have interest-bearing bonds. Your checking and your bank accounts are now an expense. Inflation running wild. I mean, it's absolute crazy what things cost. My wife and I were at the store last night, and I'm telling you, it's out of sight. For those of you in Colorado and Wyoming, and I don't mean to, give a selfish plug to one of our advertisers, but Meat America, dry aged beef. This stuff is better than what you're going to get at the store, and their prices are better. And the price of meat is just, it's skyrocketing. I mean, my wife and I were we didn't buy a lot of meat. Just, after tomorrow, it's just going to be the two of us. We didn't buy alcohol. Because usually, if you go to the store and you load up with the meat and the booze, it's going to be a big bill. So we're essentially now shopping for two people. We bought what I consider to be a very small amount of groceries. And it was $220. $220. And I looked at my wife and I went, what did we buy? And it's just everything you put in the cart. $5, $10, $8. I mean, it didn't matter. The packages are so much smaller. I want to thank one of the people was talking about toilet paper, right? And they've shrunk. They figured out a way to trick us again. They're actually just putting less toilet paper in the roll, but somehow the rolls are fatter. And at least at my house, when you put a fresh roll on now at my house, there's not enough room. Like you gotta go past the first 20 sheets or so, 30 sheets, just so the toilet paper will roll. And what they did is they shrunk the length of the paper. They make you when you get home, and I think a lot of people are, oh my gosh, look at how big this roll of toilet paper is. It's actually smaller, and I gotta waste some. I know, right? Toilet paper. I've never talked about toilet paper so much in my life. You think about all the shortages that started with COVID. I got news for you. Apparently, it has rained horribly in the wrong places in China, and they're saying that Christmas, or expect a lot of outages. I'll update you on that. We've got a great show lined up for you, all different places to go. There's an event happening right now in the Middle East, in the Gulf there. I'm going to update you. We don't have a lot of information yet, but just the long side of this, 4 different cargo ships. The ones that they've mentioned, oil and chemical ships, have lost power and lost steering all at the same time out near the United Arab Emirates. I don't know if they update it. I'll keep you updated. To me, it sounds like another one of these hacks. But right now they want to blame Iran. I don't know, but I'll keep you updated on that. If that changes, this will, right now, Wall Street is ignoring it. But if it turns out to be something where all of a sudden these hackers now have the ability to just turn cargo ships off, we may have a whole new problem in front of us. Has anybody else had to change all their passwords? It is uncanny. My wife and I were gone for a week. We come back, every password sheet that they had to change. I don't know. Anyway, hang in there with me. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592 during the break. Because I'm hooked up to the Colorado station to 1360, so I hear their commercials in my ear. And then those of you in Phoenix, Ramon, because he's a magician, he takes out the Colorado commercials and puts in the Arizona commercials. But we had a CBD commercial running, and I got to thank one of our Arizona customers, because he buys our CBD from us and has been since we've started offering it. And he was talking about using it for his anxiety. And it says, he takes the salve and essentially from one temple across the forehead to the other temple and just rubs it on every day, and it just seems to help him. And for those of you that don't know, I started suffering from anxiety in my mid-30s. And it got really bad. I was taking Ambien every night, Xanax, I don't even know how many times a day, along with Paxil. So I'm a pharmaceutical junkie. To the point where, for years I did this, for 3, 4, 5 years. And every time I wasn't getting better, it was getting worse, and they upped the dosage, and to the point where, I'm a total zombie. The last hour or two that I'm awake, I don't even remember saying or doing anything. After, it's just terrible. And I was able to finally get off of all of that stuff. But when we went on to Lake Powell, I get very nervous and I get very claustrophobic. I've told the story a lot of times. People know this. I've actually gone down, passed out, panic attack, passed out 4 different times on airplanes. Just happens. And on a boat, these rooms are not very big. And I used that trick. Because I brought it with me. I bring my CBD now wherever I go. And I, every day, especially at night before I'd go into that room, I'd take that salve, like I said, from one temple right across my forehead to the other temple. No problems. And my wife even said, "Wow, I can't believe it." She goes, "There is no way." I thought, "Oh my gosh, we're going to be in this little room for 4 days. He's going to freak out." Didn't happen. So just another plug for another use for our CBD products, 1360 KHNC. Hit that shopping cart button, and I told you the bath salt. Remember, put bath in the promo code, save $10. I'm a once a week bath guy now. It just seems Sunday nights. I throw a couple scoops in there, sit in there. It just it enhances what I've already been doing. And I know we got another product coming. Ryan says in the next 10 days or so, we'll have the next product up there for you. Go check it out because I know it can help with you. And then I talked about Meet America. I didn't even finish. So we had a bunch of conversations with them. Listen, you're gonna pay less for beef from these guys than you are at the store, and it's better. I mean, dry aged, all locally sourced. I don't know that they ship to Arizona, so you Arizona folks, call them anyway and see if they do. But I know they deliver to Wyoming. I know they deliver to Colorado. This is all local sourced. This isn't beef from Argentina, some other God knows what country it's from. It's all local, all dry aged, and I know this: the more you buy, the cheaper it gets, and their prices are sensational. 970-759-9217, and you can always call the station or call here. We got the number for you. But listen, I'm telling you, my wife is the one that keeps track of. I go to the grocery store with her because that's kind of one of the things we do together now. I only end up usually bitching about things after we've checked out, but she was floored by the prices, and I will tell you, it's not getting better. It's only going to get more expensive. So here's a way to save you some money. You're going to get better quality, less cost, delivered right to your door. 970-759-9217. So where do we go next? How about this one? And I told you, and I've been telling you, everyone's going to get vaccinated. You watch. New York City today. The mayor of New York City, Mayor de Blasio, and again, this may be it. I don't know how many more businesses now are going to go under, but as of August 16th, so you got, what are you figuring here, 2 weeks, the city will start inspections and enforcing the policies that the only way to patronize indoor establishments will be if you are vaccinated. Now, they did clarify at least one dose. So, obviously, Johnson & Johnson, you need one. The other two, you need two. You got to have at least one. De Blasio said in a press conference this morning, the Wall Street Journal reported that you will be asked to offer proof of vaccinations. So again, here we are. Show your papers. Listen, this is just, I'm not going to judge it. We've got plenty of other guys that will. And again, I try to focus on the financial aspects of this. And, of course, I just look at it as, how horrible for all these businesses. I mean, you already, you think about, like, the airlines. I mean, I don't want to even talk about how many flights have been canceled over the last 72 hours. You have no idea. I mean, American Airlines now essentially cancels 15-20% of their flights every day. But no one wants to tell you about it. But it gets violent. Now, can you imagine these people, the hostess at a restaurant? That's like, hostess is like, you're the low person on the totem pole, right? Your job is to stand there, wait for somebody to come in, ask how many are in their party, and then, make sure the tables get evenly distributed amongst the waiters and waitresses. And now you got to say, before we do that, can I see your vaccination cards? So apparently in New York City, you can either show the physical card. So when you go to get vaccinated, you actually get a card. Or a digital app, such as what will be called the Key to New York City Pass. Yes. They're saying that 55% of New Yorkers are fully vaccinated. 60% have received at least one dose. So I guess they're saying, hey, 40% of you don't come. And again, I'm not going to sit here and say right or wrong. I look at this solely from the financial side of things. This is going to be absolutely devastating. Bars, restaurants, workout facilities, concerts, all of these things. And again, and we're seeing every Tyson Foods today. You know, Tyson Foods employs 120,000 people. I didn't know that. Saying all their workers need to be vaccinated. And remember, I've been saying it all along. They'll make it bad enough that you're not going to be able to do anything without it. And we're starting to see all of that now, the ramifications of this. And again, there's no more money. At least I don't think. Maybe there is. I don't know. Right? Can you imagine? You just reopened. Right? You're getting back on your feet. And now 40% of your customers are no longer welcome. You know, you don't make that. You can't stay in business. You can't lose 40%. And let's face it, some of these places it may be higher, some of them a little lower, but overall, if they're saying, hey, only 60% of New Yorkers qualify for this, I don't know how all this works. I do know that, think about the cost of all of this. I mean, from the vaccinations themselves to the cards and everything else that you have to do, it is really, I never thought I would see it. But I say that a lot now. I never thought I would see a time when we're running $5 trillion deficits and nobody cares. And again, because we're distracted. See, like, I just distracted you with this COVID story. And we could go on and on and on and mask and this and that and the other. But what is really happening? They'll tell you that, hey, 7 million people came out of poverty last year. They did? I mean, for most of the year, 20 million people were out of work. I mean, those were the numbers. Yet we had 7 million people emerge out of poverty, did we? How did we do that? What kind of magic trick was it? Well, we just gave them money. Right? The government just gave them money and said, see, look at, now they're not in poverty. Well, that's wonderful. Until today. Because now what? Well, now the money is stopped. Right, the moratorium, the evictions are started. By the way, do you ever get the feeling that the big Wall Street companies told the Biden administration, yeah, okay, it's time now? Because, you know, especially the rental market, pretty much owned by Wall Street now. Right? BlackRock and the others. Hey, get these people out of here. Right? We need that place. We can make money on it. Get them out. Just saying. It's kind of funny how it ended right as they went on vacation. Isn't that ironic? Right? It was supposed to end. Remember, it was supposed to end at the end of June, but then they gave it an extra month. So what? So they could be out of town, right? But now what? Well, let's see what happened. What really happened? Did we really get people out of poverty? Or did we do the exact opposite? See, now there's no more money, but yet everything costs so much more. And we're going to have this boomerang instead of 7 million people coming out of poverty, we're going to have 14, 15, 20 million people moving into poverty because of this. And nobody wants to pay attention. You know, right now we're using emergency powers so we don't default on the debt, right? Which officially sits at $28.6 trillion. Matter of fact, Jim Cramer came out on TV this morning on the Idiot Box, said August is going to be a pretty good month for gold because this thing's going to stretch. Because the Treasury, they only have X amount of time before the Congress has to do something. And right now, they're not paying the pensions. And they're not paying any of the bills and all that stuff. They can do things that will allow them to live off of whatever's in your so-called checking account for a little while. The problem is when this thing does finally end, everyone's going to see that debt number again and start to focus in on what really is happening. 800-951-0592. And, you know, I call this period, you know, the calm. You know, gold and silver don't do much. You know, today's down a few dollars. Well, silver's actually not down at all, but not really, just hanging out. We're waiting for catalyst. That's what they like to say. Here's the reality of what's really happening. They just don't want to admit that they're wrong yet. Right? This is why, you know, gold's already come off. You know, we've already proven, hey, you were wrong. Right? And, you know, we did that show yesterday. These guys don't know what they're talking about. I shouldn't even say that. They just, you know, they know exactly what's happening. They just are never going to admit it. And we've got to watch and see all of this play out. And eventually all of those things happen. Thank you, Brittany. Brittany, I love it when I get notes in the middle of a show. That means something good has happened. But when we're sitting here and we're looking at all of the spending, and they always have these great reasons. Oh, well, you know, it was COVID. And the economy was shut down. And so we had to have a moratorium on paying your rent or your mortgage. We had to have a moratorium on paying off your student loans, and we had to spend all of this money, and who knows where it really all went to, right? The central bank's balance sheet. Let's not forget. Let's not just pretend it didn't happen. It's happened. They've added almost $5 trillion to their balance sheet. Think about it. In what? 18 months? Not even? $5 trillion? You know, their balance sheet was about $3.8 trillion before COVID. Now it's almost $8.8 trillion. And listen, and it's still climbing. We took the money supply. That was about $4 trillion. And it's now $18 trillion. We've got all of these crazy bubbles like, you know, crypto coin, which all these cryptos just tell you this is people looking for an alternative to whether it's the dollar or the euro, the renminbi. I don't pick your currency. Right? They and everyone always says, I like the alchemist, right? They try to figure out how can we create gold, you know, and you can't. We've seen this time and time again. This is just a different version of itself. But remember, as I tell you, as we adopt these digital currencies, Lael Bernard, who I can all but guarantee she's the next. I think she's the next Federal Reserve president. She can't imagine a world without a digital dollar. We have to have it. She knows. It has nothing to do with paying bills. It has nothing to do with, oh, well, cross-border trade or whatever other nonsense they tell you. All it has to do with power and control. And this is going to be, even though they're the ones that caused the problem to begin with, somehow they get to fix it as well. Extremely dangerous. We talked about, what's happening now in New York City and other parts, and show your papers and your vaccinations. Imagine what a digital currency will do. It is the greatest tracking device ever created, because that's really what it is. What's so great about let's just call it Bitcoin? What's so great? Can't feel it, can't touch it. Right? Can't hold it yet. Heaven forbid you lose your password or you get hacked. But the appeal to the person out on the street is, well, it's not tied to, the Federal Reserve and Wall Street don't have control over it. And of course, what happens every 6 or 8 months or so, Wall Street gets a little more control, right? Look at China cracks down, right? Bitcoin, remember Bitcoin was, 64,000, now it's 37,000 or wherever it is. But really, for most people, what is, I can turn 2,000 into 200,000. That's what they think, right? It's the home run thing that people, which again signifies what? Bubbles. But really, what's so good about it? It's none of those things I just said. Because believe me, by the time it's over, they're going to be so regulated and controlled, you won't believe it. I think they're going to be worthless. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But if Lael Bernard says we can't have a world without a digital dollar, believe me, they won't let it compete. It would be great, wouldn't it? Let gold compete, let silver compete, let Bitcoin compete, let everyone pick what they want. That would truly be freedom, wouldn't it? But what makes these things so valuable, it's the technology behind it that they love so much. Right? And what is that technology? They call it blockchain. I don't know how it all works, right? I'm not a techie guy and all that. I don't know. But I know what it does. It tracks. And it tracks everything. And it has the capacity, I don't know how. It can track billions of transactions. Think about right now. There's how many thousands of people swiping their debit card into a gas pump all over the world? How many people are swiping their debit cards or their credit cards at the checkout counter of the supermarkets, in the drugstores, and Disneyland, and wherever it may be? They're at the drive-thru at McDonald's, and then globalize it, and they can track it all instantaneously. And now all of a sudden, kind of like a Social Security number, we'll all have digital dollar account. Federal Reserve account. I know, right? More stuff to creep me out. HR Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. So why do we need it? And the answer really is simple. Because the dollar we have now is coming to an end. Period. We're not paying back the debt. They had no intent. That's never been the goal. See, because any good banker would tell you that's what bankruptcy's for. That's what bankruptcy's for. And I know they like to say they've never defaulted on the debt. That's not true. Of course we have. All the contracts before 1971 said that foreign governments could get paid with gold. Just changed the rules. 1933, all those contracts, Britain used to say this American citizenry could get paid in gold until they weren't allowed. What do you call that? Right? And of course, they like to pretend, oh no, it's not that. And it's happening again. And we know because look at now, it's a freight train of debt. And COVID, it's so great because you've got the great cover story, but this was happening already. Now maybe it speeds it up, but isn't it? Is it coincidence that all of a sudden we have all of this digital? I don't know, it's really not currency, but this crypto emergence right around that time. And now all of a sudden, here's all the big blow-ups. And of course, we're going to pretend to hold it together for a while. But they already know. There's no way out of this. I mean, we're already down to 60% of people owning a home. How low is it going to go? Right? They're going to try to get us to be happy while owning nothing. The amount of people that need a check from the government is skyrocketing. And now we start slowly with the brainwashing. First was, oh no, we're not doing a crypto. Oh no, please. That's a risky, don't do it type thing. And of course, crypto was 4,000, 5,000, 20,000. Right? People were, oh, look how rich I am. And of course, then here comes the tax ban and all that other stuff. And then they said, well, you know, we may have had a few meetings about it. You know, maybe we brought in some techie people. But, you know, we're just, you know, doing some due diligence. But, you know, we're not doing that. Well, you know, we're going to start running some tests. We're going to test it. But, you know, it's going to coexist with the dollar and all of that. You know, maybe, we're not sure. To yesterday, well, I can't imagine our ability to be a viable power without it. So you know it's coming. Don't take my. I mean, I've been telling you for how many years. Right? The question is, how long do we have? And the realities are, the window's gotten very small. Think about. Let's just use Social Security because that's always a good one. You know, they were saying when I started here, 2042 was the number. Now it's 2031. Okay. But it's 2021 right now. So that would be 10 years for Social Security. But of course, remember, I told you they actually lie about it because Medicare and Medicaid run out of money first and blah, 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 blah. You know, I've been saying this from 3 years ago. Probably 2025. That's when I think it's out. And my guess is around that same time. They're just going to bundle it all up. And with one big fell swoop, here comes the new digital money. Right? Wall Street's going to get hammered. It just will. It's not going to be dead. I mean, it'll come back. But that's when the devaluation happens. That's when, again, they want all this money into the system because they want to make sure that everybody is dependent upon the government, because it's easy that way. Right? If we have 50, 60, 70% of the population needing a check from the government, and the government says we need to do this, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. And guess what? It's just like the vaccines. Hey, get the vaccine, we'll give you $200. Hey, all you poor people, when you go to this digital currency, hey, guess what? We're going to put a few extra credits into your accounts for you. How great is that? Because we'll get it from these rich guys. Make sure you have your house in order. Have your gold and silver, something outside of that system before it happens. And then you can benefit from it afterwards. That's the whole premise. 800-951-0592. Picture rating 2000. Get back to the next discussion. 800-951-0592. Got so many things I didn't even get to. Household debt, by the way, biggest jump in household debt in 14 years to $15 trillion. Why not? Why not? That is good. We're going to default on it all anyway. Today's special. That's a good one. I love it. I've got 60 $5 liberties. And man, getting these in any quantity it just doesn't happen. This is by far the most amount of 5 libs that I've had in quite some time. It's all about price, though. Right now at allamericangold.com, they're $595 today. I got 60 of them at $575. So that's a big savings. Of course, that's your fractional quarter-ounce gold piece. Again, pre-1933. That's what we like here. It's the most private way to own gold. You can buy it, sell it, trade it. You don't have to give out your Social Security number. You don't have to get 1099. And I just got a suspicion. This digital dollar may need some gold backing to get it really off the ground. We'll see, because I don't understand how we can't. With the national debt is going to grow $5 trillion plus a year every year for the next 4 years. Just what's going to happen. What does that put at $50 trillion? Fed's balance sheet, no end in sight, and then the default. And that's assuming it gets that far. I could be totally wrong. It could be next year. I don't know. But the reset, don't worry. The reset is coming. Make sure you're prepared for it. 800-951-0592. U.S. $5 liberties. These are 1866 to 1907. Quarter-ounce gold pieces at $575. Tomorrow, I didn't get to it today. I will get to the supply chain issues that are going to affect Christmas. I'll give you the items that you're going to be paying a lot more for tomorrow. Also, big news out of China about gold consumption and how big of a step back did the world's largest gold producer, which is China, suffer in the first half of 2021. So look forward to those tomorrow. Those two things plus whatever else comes our way. And then, of course, Friday. Listen, tomorrow starts the jobs thing. This is what everybody's waiting for. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll get ADP jobs. We'll get jobless claims. And then we'll get the government jobs numbers. And I think they're going to be soft. That's just – no, I could be wrong. Right? That's just a guess on my part. I think they may be a little soft. And that may be the next catalyst for gold But watch this debt clock. Right, we're on emergency measures right now, and it's 7 weeks. We won't see Congress. By the time they get back, they'll have a very short window to get this debt ceiling lifted. And my guess is the Democrats are going to try to leverage the human infrastructure to make it happen. Should be very, very interesting. 800-951-0592, $5 liberties at $575 today. That's the lowest they've been probably since COVID started, really. So pretty good opportunity for everybody out there. God bless, and I'll be back tomorrow.